Good morning, friends. I wanted to share a little something that I jotted down this morning. The shift is felt as I concern myself mainly with what pleases me. I observe the stickiness of the what is in the outer world, and I can laugh, knowing that any alteration can come effortlessly when I give my focus to the reality of my unseen world. My imagination thriving with what I share with myself. When the stickiness of the outer world feels overwhelming and unwanted, I radically turn my whole focus towards myself. I do this in confidence because I have a momentum of evidence showing me that it is worthwhile. I continue to feel better and better as false narratives melt away from my experience. And I do. I wholeheartedly find this to be true. And, yesterday especially, I was and I've always really resonated with episodes 15, 16, and 17 of Edward Art Supply Hand series. There's just so much delicious goodness in those episodes that really work well together. And so one of the things that I thought of when I was driving home yesterday was something that was said in one of those three episodes. I think it was 17. I don't know, don't quote me on that. It's one of them. Listen to them. And see what you think. But it's the, and I just made this up, it's the clothe yourself practice. So you slip into the skin of who you choose to embody. It can be a concept of the you that you envision, that you want to experience in your outer. You can do that by picking personas of people that you admire, or you can just have your own little things that you want to tweak about yourself that you want to embody more fully. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You can just have fun with it and just try this out and see if you like it. So it's like slipping on a garment. And Neville and Edward they talk about this. You wear that clothing and you enfold yourself, you immerse yourself in that feeling, in that focus, as though you are that which you desire to be. And give that to yourself, because it's like playing dress up when you're a little kid. And I used to love to play dress up. And you get to be that for however long you want. In your imagination, you get to be exactly what you want to be. And there's no one to tell you otherwise. There's nothing to keep you from feeling how good that feels, and to explore and play in that imaginal act for as long as you like, because that's really the key to having that wish feel as though it is already fulfilled. So you then, in the outer world, because you're giving that to your inner self, you're giving your inner self that playful focus of what it is that you want, because that's really important. What do you want? And then give that to yourself, because that's your part in all of this. It isn't figuring out how to make what you want happen in the outer world. That's for your inner beingness to satisfy and make happen for you. And it's easy for your inner beingness to do that. So don't try to do the hard part of what your inner beingness does so effortlessly. Do the easy, fun part of giving to your inner beingness what it is that you want. And embody that feeling and feel that feeling as fully as you are able to, and just enjoy it and have fun with it and make it light and make it, it's not something that you're going to get wrong by playing. You don't see, you don't usually see little children when they're playing and using their imagination having a hard time figuring out how to imagine being exactly what they are feeling in the moment, so joyful about pretending to be a superhero or a princess, or, they're like method actors. They dive right into it and they feel it all. They go for the gold of it. And give yourself permission to do the exact same thing, because as you do that, your inner being projects that back to you in ways that will really work in your outer life, in your outer experience. So, it's really about how can you mold the clay of your own personal experience instead of getting frustrated and throwing the clay away. It's just like in one of the episodes of Edward Art that says, rework the clay. That's part of revision. If you don't like the way the clay is, rework it. There's nothing to be wound up about when you're when you're giving yourself that opportunity, because otherwise, if you don't rework the clay and do a revision the way you want it to be, then the stickiness of the observable what is can really get stuck to you. It can really not feel good, and then those things can build momentum, and you don't really want to build momentum of more unwanted, because your inner self will give you more of that, because it's impartial and unconditional. And it's like, if that's what you're giving to me, I'm going to give that right back to you. It's not a bitter, like punishing thing. It's so unconditional. It says yes to everything. There's no reason for it to question it. It doesn't do that. It just accepts what it is that you're giving it as though it's what you want. And then it gives it back to you in this same world. So that's how I understand the teachings of Neville Goddard and Edward Art Supply Hands to be saying when it says, give yourself what you want and be radical about it. Go all out and truly embody what it is that you want to experience, because there's nothing to change in the outer world. There's nothing to change but yourself, what you're giving to yourself, because yourself is so perfect, so incredible. It's going to give it back to you. And I am really having a fantastic time finding all these fun ways to give myself what I want that feels good and that feels like a joy to me, instead of being logged down with sticky focuses of what is unwanted, which tend to seem easier to focus on than what is wanted. Once you make that flip by becoming really committed and really focused and fine-tuning your attention, what you're giving your attention to, your attention should always be on yourself, on what you're giving to yourself. That should always be your dominant focus, because that's what you're going to be experiencing in your outer world. That's what's going to be projected and experienced. And I'm good with experiencing more of what I want. So let's see. So back to my little clothing practice. So you wear what you want to wear. You clothe yourself in what it is that you want to experience and how you want to feel. And feel the natural satisfaction of who you are. In reality, your inner beingness shares that back with you. By giving your inner beingness exactly what you want, your inner beingness unconditionally gives that back to you, and in ways that are more wondrous than typically what you even expect. I've put out there things that and especially when I used to really be into the law of attraction. Now I have a sweet spot for Abraham Hicks and law of attraction. And I used to have a poster board with a little rocket that I made, and